This is my Pergo laminate flooring project that I just completed. Well, almost completed. I still have to put the quarter round molding on the bottom. I decided to start with a closet before doing a big floor. This is only about 42 square feet. And it looks little, but even a little project like this, there's a number of little challenges and frustrations. So I'm glad I did a little project like this first. So this is called Pergo Brier Creek, the name of the product. And then we bought a compatible threshold piece down there. So all in all, it didn't turn out too bad. The main challenge that I had was getting started. You notice the first course is narrow, and then the rest of them are full size width, and then the last one is also narrow. So I had to figure out, how big of a piece to start with. So what I did was, underneath the flooring, there's an underlayment, a Pergo underlayment. So I put down the underlayment, and then I pulled it out, and I set it on a floor, and then I laid the laminate pieces on top of it. And it made it easy to figure out, what size of piece to start with and end with. And then the other challenge, this corner over here is not square. It's more narrow over here by the corner. And then it gets wider toward that corner. So that was a little bit of a challenge. And one of the things I discovered early on, when you put these pieces together, you have to lift them at an angle and then knock them together. You got to knock them pretty hard. Use a plastic block. You hit the plastic block and it pushes the pieces together. So once you knock it hard enough, then they fall together. And then you have the bar. You leave a 1/4 inch gap all the way around. Use a spacer, and you put a bar and you knock it this way so they go together. You got to knock that pretty hard too in order to get a tight fit. So everything is pretty well tight, and they say that if you want it to be waterproof and you want the warranty, you have to leave a 1/4 inch gap all the way around. Before you lay the flooring, you put silicone caulking all the way around. Nice bead of silicone caulking all the way around. Then you lay the floor, and then you stuff this 3/8 inch foam next to the whole edge. Stuff it down there, and then you put a bead of silicone on top all the way around. So it's supposed to be a 1/4 all the way around, but it kind of varies a little bit. Some places it's more like a 1/2 inch. And then I had a little bit of an angle over here. So what I did was I took a piece of scrap Pergo underlayment, and I cut out a pattern, and then I was able to cut this irregular piece over here because I made a pattern. And once I saw that the pattern fit, then I laid it on top of the flooring material and traced it and cut it. Oh, by the way, I just used a jigsaw for this. Didn't have to buy any special saw. Just get a fine-tooth jigsaw and So over here, I did use a tool to figure out the angle, but I also made a pattern out of some scrap underlayment. I traced it, or I cut it out, and then I traced it onto the piece, and then I was able to get this angle with no problem. One of the places you start is at the threshold. I don't have this threshold set yet, so I can pull it up. So you put down the track first. And you can see the Pergo underlayment there, it's gold. So what I have to do, it's too low. It's supposed to be level with the floor surface, and it's not, it's below it. So I have to put a piece of wood underneath the track, about a 1/4 inch piece of wood underneath, and it'll raise the track up. Then I can put this on snugly. So yeah, one of the first challenges is getting the track down, and then figuring out what size piece, how wide to start with, and then the rest of them. After you lay one down, whatever scrap you have, you put it at the other end. So that little piece there is actually a scrap off of another piece. So one of the important things is just take your time. Don't be in any hurry. Read the instructions carefully. Watch videos, ask questions, and do a small job first, like this, before you do a big room. Me and my wife did this together, and she figured out things I couldn't figure out. We did the work together, and it looks like it's going to turn out pretty good. So that's about it. Good luck with your project.